Mabruk. The Biden administration is looking to take steps to improve their ties with the Palestinians after shelving a move to reopen the US Consulate in East Jerusalem, this after Israeli opposition, all the while planning to upgrade their status in the Department of State. To discuss those steps, we're joined by the former Israeli ambassador to the US, Danny Ayalon. Hello, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Lital.
So President Biden has decided not to reopen the consulate, but did decide to detach the Palestinian unit from the U.S. Embassy in Israel. Why is that?
Well, it's a halfway measure, so he can accommodate the demands from all sides, especially from Israel. Israel did not see favorably even the intention to reopen the consulate, especially as the Palestinians continue to be engaged in terrorism, incitement, and are not even contemplating moving towards any kind of peaceful agreement with Israel, let alone negotiations. For Biden, this trip is very important, not only because the United States has to reassert its leadership in the world after what's going on in the Ukraine and the challenges from China, but also they need some practical measures to bring down, and this is a political issue as well, to bring down oil prices. Right now, oil prices and the gasoline prices in the United States are at all-time high, and this is just a few months before the midterm elections, does not bode very well to Biden and his party. So his main goal here is really to amend a relationship with the Saudis, especially with the MBS, the heir to the crown of Saudi Arabia, following, if you remember, Rital, a few years back after the murder of the Saudi journalist Khashoggi in Turkey. The United States did not want to do anything with MPS. Now they have to, because if they want to bring down the oil prices, this is the price to pay. And of course, within the context of a regional agreement, if they can also amend and build open relationship between Israel and the Saudis, this will also signal leadership of Biden and the United States in the region and beyond.
Yeah, now one of this administration's main points is to bring back the Palestinians to the negotiations with Israel. Could it be done?
I doubt it very much. You see, right now, there is no Palestinian leadership to speak of. You have the Hamas in Gaza, you have the Palestinian Authority under the ailing and aging Abu Mazen. There is no one address. Everybody in Judea and Samaria, or in Territory A, the Palestinian Authority, everybody is bracing for a change of guard when Abu Mazen leaves his office one way or another. And even then, after that happens, I'm afraid there is going to be an all-out war for those who are trying to take his position. Meanwhile, Hamas is getting stronger also in the West Bank. We saw it during Jerusalem Day. We saw it during Ramadan. Hamas is a terror organization which is considered as such, not just by Israel and the European unions, especially by the United States. The United States cannot deal with Hamas as a terror organization. So right now, there's nobody to talk to in the Palestinian side. So the most the Americans can hope for is some kind of moderation in terms of managing the conflict, and not more than that.
You're also asking yourself, will the Palestinians even listen to the U.S. president? We've seen them rejecting every other, offer that they got.
Yes, and it's not just the United States. They reject any demands or requests from the Arab League, whether it's the Saudis or the Arab countries or even Jordan and Egypt. At this point, they continue their historic mistakes that they have done for over 100 years. Successive Palestinian leaderships have refused to recognize Israel as a Jewish state, have refused to really negotiate on good faith. For them, it's a zero-sum game, all or nothing. So they end up with nothing at this point, and Israel will have to continue to work very hard on keeping its qualitative edge, not just vis-a-vis terror and the Palestinians, but also against any coalition of enemies that might end up converging or trying to threaten Israel.
Former Israeli Ambassador Dani Ayalon, thank you so much for this interview.
ILTV Plus, your news from Israel and more 24/7. Start your free trial today. Subscribe at iltv.tv and watch from any device.